this crowd have totally enjoyed it. Australia have extended their dominance for a 5th time. It is fireworks time tonight, and Australia can well and truly roar. Hope you've enjoyed it. Bye for now. Until next time.
AFC double strike.
Larkin Stadium in Johor, royalty in the house.
Asia's theatre of football.
What a goal!
Where the passionate fans inspire clubs to chase continental glory.
Well, it's absolute class.
AFC double strike. Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Live on Fox Sports.
How far will our nomadic species have wandered by the end of the next century? Who will we become in the far future?
The 30th FAI World Aerobatic Championships were recently held at the Marcel Dassault Airport in Châteauroux, France. 18 nations competed in the official championships and competing for the several competition titles: men's, women's, mixed, freestyle and team event. Sunshine, spectacular manoeuvres and enthusiastic spectators were the ingredients for this great event. The tournament opens with a grand ceremony in the centre of Châteauroux. The best pilots in the world were competing here, among them the defending champion Mikhail Mamistov from a great Russian team, while the French team had a total of 10 pilots here also with great chances of winning. The aerobatic competition is based on the same principle as figure skating. The goal is to fly a defined number and sequence of manoeuvres as precisely as possible. A jury then evaluates this performance and awards points. A total of 5 programs are flown. The world champion is the one who completes the 5 programs: free known, free unknown, program 2, 3 and 4, with the highest number of points. And the freestyle program is assessed as a separate category in which not all the pilots take part. In the freestyle competition, Robert Holland from the USA shows the most spectacular movements and secures the freestyle world champion title. After all 4 remaining programs, the 3rd place went to the favourite Mikhail Mamistov. He showed great manoeuvres throughout, getting the highest score in free unknown program 2 with 4,040.085 points. French pilot Alexander Arlansky secured 2nd place, outflying Mamistov with a very strong performance in the 4th program, performing precisely over the whole competition with only minimal mistakes in his manoeuvres. However, the new world champion 2019 is Louis Van Aert from France. He proved his outstanding abilities throughout all competition days and managed to beat Arlansky by just 63.31 points. And tears of joy for the Frenchman, but also respect for all participating pilots.
This March, we'll lift your spirits on Fox Life. Single, ready to mingle, and clueless about the dating scene.
I had no idea that dating was going to be so complicated.
A widower becomes a hot commodity known to single ladies as the unicorn.
You ready?
Oh yeah, girl.
Jump back into the farm life with Mike and Rio.
I'm really excited.
These city slickers are slowly settling into Bucksnort.
Boom! Oh, it didn't go down.
But have they truly gotten over their agriculture shock?
Yes.
Less this mess. All eyes are on these spectacular vocal battles.
It was really a masterful performance.
Catch new coach Nick Jonas as he makes waves to find the new champion.
He's so cute. Look away.
Welcome to the show.
Together with Kelly, John, and Blake.
I can't wait to win again. Hey!
On The Voice. This March, we'll lift your spirits. On Fox Life.
Sporting art at its finest. Oh, it's just amazing.
So good, so tempered, so perfect.
This is turning into quite a performance, delighting the crowd, embracing the occasion.
Oh, absolutely sensational.
That had a bit of everything in it.
And it just gets better and better.
And welcome to the National Stadium here in Vientiane, the capital of Laos, for this Group F encounter in the AFC Cup, a match between Lao Toyota and Ho Chi Minh City. Simon McMenemy with me, Mark Richmond right here, and it's a game that promises loads of goals, Simon, only because we've got two teams who've got trouble keeping them out.
Well, some high score lines they've had recently, and when you have the ability of someone like Amido Abalde up front with the experience he has, you would expect this to be an entertaining game.
Well, the referee's all set and prepared to go already, and you have some experience, of course, with Amido Balde talking about from last year as well, playing in the Indonesian League, where he was the top scorer in the Piala Indonesia, the Indonesian Cup last year for Persebaya.
Yeah, he did really well. He started off like a house on fire. He was knocking goals in all the time, and you thought, oh, this guy's the real deal. He's really going to fit in. But Indonesia's one of those places, you know, you're only as good as your last game, and you have one bad game and the fans are like, oh, he missed a few chances there. They start to turn quite quickly, and I think he kind of struggled with, he started off with a big club at Persebaya, and that's a big club. It's a lot of pressure playing as the foreign striker there. And, you know, the goals started to dry up towards the end, and they released him halfway through the season. Then PSM picked him up for the second half of the season, and we've just seen them play previously against Kaya, but he struggled to find his feet really at PSM, didn't really fit into their style of play, and then left them at the end of the season. But there were occasions where he was just unplayable. There was occasions where he was a real threat, really difficult. Normally when he was trying to prove a point, you know, when he just received some criticism.
Well, he received loads of criticism there, and he came over here, of course, and into the Vietnamese League as we have a look at the Ho Chi Minh City players, and he has, of course, proven his critics wrong once again, because he is their top scorer this season, having scored a goal in 44 minutes of action in the AFC Cup. That is a fantastic achievement indeed for Balde. This is Goran Jerkovic, who is leading out to the Lao Toyota players. A team really that are top of the table in terms of the Laotian League. That's Balde that we're talking about, the number 99, the big, tall Guinea-Bissau player, former Portuguese under-20 international as well. And the other big lad, of course, the big ticket right there is Pape Diakite. And you have a look at these two players playing against his Laotian side, and you'd think that set pieces would be one of the ways to go tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, foreign players, I remember my time in the Vietnamese League, I remember the Vietnamese players really struggled dealing with foreigners at set pieces. Every set piece was just, you know, you're pulling your striker back to make sure you deal with the other striker. You've got your centre back on centre back, foreigners mark foreigners, and then everyone else deal with each other. It is a real problem when you don't have height and you have two guys that are, I mean, they're big guys for foreigners anyway, let alone playing in two leagues that's synonymous with small players.
Well, you look at the Laotian League, which hasn't begun yet, and there is a situation in Laos, of course, where the league might just be reduced to 4 teams this year. And it is a league that just, 8 years ago had 11 teams in the league, and Lao Toyota have been winning it for fun, only because they are sponsored, and they are one of the only 2 clubs in the league that have got foreign players in the lead alongside Master 7, who were knocked out of the qualifiers of the AFC Cup this year. So, big dogs in the league, but when the cat actually returns, that's when the mouse starts getting pretty excited and pretty scared, isn't it? That's the problem that Lao Toyota are facing in the AFC Cup, Simon.
It's true, but at the same time, you know, it's important that a club like that finds out how it can use what it has to as a weapon against other teams. We see Kaya competing quite often against big teams like PSM. They did done really well against Beckham X in the past. You know, they pull together what they have, they turn it into a weapon, and they give it as best they can against the opponents. Small teams can still cause threats. Playing in small stadiums, empty stadiums, having to travel, staying in different hotels, travelling distance. It all plays a big part of it, but it's how you put that team together, you know. Tough and difficult to beat will always be tough and difficult to beat, whether you're a Division 1 team or a Division 4 team.
Well, this will be their 25th match in the AFC Cup, Lao Toyota, including the playoffs against Boeing Kut, which they lost in 2017 and 2018. And in those 24 previous matches, they only won one. We got to go back to February 24th, 2016 in the stadium against Bengaluru. That's their only victory. Since then, they haven't won. Their home form in the AFC Cup, well, they started with being undefeated in the first 4 matches, home games, but they only had one without a loss. That was a draw last year against Kaya in their last 8. So it's a horrendous run of form. And they have conceded 3 in each of their last 3 games in the AFC Cup. So you'd expect Ho Chi Minh City to be the hot favourites for this one, Simon.
Yeah, I think so. You know, Vietnamese football, if you look at their national team, is very much on the up. They're a really difficult team to play against at national team level. They seem to have this endless supply of strong running, tough young players that just keep coming through the ranks. And I think if Vietnam keeps progressing the way they are, both nationally and domestically, they're going to start certainly domestically competing with Thailand for you know, the best league domestically in Southeast Asia. It was a tough league when I was there, so it takes a tough team to finish first and second. Yeah, it's not an easy league by any stretch.
Simon McManamy, of course, spending a large part of the last decade in Southeast Asia. In fact, you were in Southeast Asia the whole of last decade, weren't you? Having a look at it from the Philippines.
For my sins, I was here, yeah. Ups and downs.
Lots of ups as well, especially that win in the Indonesian League. And right here, of course, it's a stadium that is synonymous with you. We were just talking about it the last time out. You took a Philippine side that played here, won here, and from then on, they've just gone up, 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 and they've been on the ascendancy since then.
Well, as it happens, this was the stadium for the qualifying for the 2010
AFF
Suzuki Cup.
Yep.
And we qualified second. You know, Laos went above us. We qualified over Cambodia by 1 goal. Now, where the Philippines have gone since then, getting to the semi-final of that Suzuki Cup edition, had we not got that goal and Cambodia would have taken our place, I mean, we might be looking at a very different scenario in terms of there might not be a PFL, there might not be a Philippines League. There, so many other different connotations might have come true had that goal not gone in. It was incredibly important just to get that extra goal, and yeah, good memories in that stadium. We did some good things.
Yep. As we have a look at the Lao Toyota lineup, I can tell you that it's no change from the side that lost the last time out against Yangon, and why not? The league hasn't started yet. You might as well put the same 11 players up there in a coach's formation of 3 centre-backs. As we have a look at the referees as well, all from Iraq. Zayed Tamir Mohammed will be the man in the middle. 2 captains exchanging flags, shaking hands, and it's that figure of Tran Phi Son, one of those pint-sized flying wingers that Vietnamese football always produces through the years, against the big and tall Frenchman Goran Jerkovic, who is in his very first year in Lao Toyota, having arrived from Bahrain, from East Rifa, of which he scored 2 goals last season. And here is the Ho Chi Minh City lineup. I can tell you that they've made 4 changes, including the man in the middle sticks, when Tan Tang will be fighting for the gloves this season with Buen Ting Tong. Ngo Tung Duk and Ngo Ge Vu also go into centre-back position, and Vu Antoine goes into central midfield, taking the place of Assam Ngo Gu Duk. On the bench, the likes of Van Tuan, Do Van Tuan, the number 14, is there, and Nguyen Hu Tan as well. And the other one is number 11, Nguyen Xuan Nam, who scored 2 over the weekend when they beat Quang Nam in the Vietnamese League. Fukuda is the coach for Lao Toyota. This will be his 40th game in his second year as coach of Lao Toyota. His next victory will be his 25th as head coach in the job that he took after leaving Mongolia in the Mongolian League. And his opposite number will be Jong Hae-seong, who turned 62 8 days ago. Korean, of course, who was a part of the 2002 and 2010 South Korean World Cup squads. And he is on his 35th game. He is the V-League Manager of the Year last year, having taken a side that was for so long in the second division in the last decade, and all of a sudden second in the Vietnamese league. Well, Korean footballers, Korean managers and Vietnamese footballers, they have gone hand in hand over the last 2 years, haven't they?
It seems to be a partnership that works for whatever reason, whether that's culturally, whether it's just the style of coaching compared to the style of player he's working with. It seems to be a match made in heaven at the minute, and certainly the Vietnamese national team are reaping the benefits of that. You know, we played against them, very difficult team to play against. Just attack you from all angles, so quick, so fast, and frustratingly so young.
So the countdown to the game between Lao Toyota and Red against Ho Chi Minh City in the AFC Cup. Ho Chi Minh City have conceded 2 in each of their 2 games so far in this competition. Lao Toyota have conceded 3 in their last 3 games in the AFC Cup. So we're expecting goals here. And the Vietnamese, of course, will have main dominance of the ball as they stroke it around, as they always do, just like the national team, trying to make full width. Use a full width of the pitch. Just as you say, that one that's gone way long already into opponent's half. And it'll be a 3-man defense with those 2 flying wing backs as well in Somsavat and Saison. Saison, of course, in his 6th year, one of the most experienced players in the Laotian league, looking for the tall head of Jerkovic, who's backing into his opponent.
Interesting, we have a foreigner as captain. That's an interesting decision. Sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't. Obviously, if he has a great CV and he holds himself, players get behind him, but it can cause ripples, you know, bypassing a local player.
But at the moment, it looks as if the pitch is misbehaving more than anything else, isn't it? Bouncy all over the park. That's a lovely ball that's floated right over the top. Just a little too much zip on the pitch. That takes it around their captain, Fison. Viet Phu looking for that out ball. I think that the Korean coach Hae Seong's really signaled to his team to not be afraid to play it direct and long.
Excuse me, I'll just take that. Nice physical start there.
Jakite throwing his elbows and himself all around. That's a silky touch from Kong Fong, who is certainly one of the most exciting footballers in all of Southeast Asia. That's gone against the upright. That's a header that's taken first time by Balde. No nonsense from him, but what a ball that was played inside by Kong Fong, wasn't it?
What a ball and what a save. I mean, fair play to the goalkeeper here. That's in the corner and he gets down, helped out by the post, but still. Really good save there so early on. Got down so low and so quick. Yeah, very good, very good. Great ball, great header, great save.
And almost a double save as well, because it came off the upright and he prevented it from falling neatly into the place of Balde. So a very promising start by the Guinea-Bissau international. Once floated deep inside Balde yet again at the heart of it all. And it's cleared first time by Lao Toyota, under pressure already after only 2.5 minutes, Simon.
Well, we did say early on that set pieces might be a bit of an issue here. Balde is an imposing figure there, and when Dieke comes up from the back as well, you've got 2 big 6'2", 6'3" guys really making their presence known. A real threat from any dead ball put into an area.
Here he is again, trying to show that he's got the silky touches as well to go. That very big, imposing frame of his, Jerkovic. Now he's got such an important duty tonight, just to hold up as long as possible. But 3 taking him out of the ball straight away. Jakite happily playing it outside to Tung Kwok. Huang Tin, every side needs a player like Ngo Huang Tin. He'll give you 6 out of 10 every week, week in, week out. He's that sort of player, isn't it?
Steady Eddie, I think they're called. Steady Eddies. Everybody needs a steady Eddie.
He's the kind where it's not going to get the fans off their feet in terms of the excitement, but the coaches all love him.
Yeah, the sort that when he's ill or when he's injured, you miss him.
Yeah. Ball's gone out for a throw to Lao Toyota. Somsabat Sofapiksai, at left wing back, who scored 5 goals last year. And also played at the Southeast Asian Games, of which the Laotians sprung a surprise or two. Jurkovic dropping very deep in order to get involved. And because he is that deep, there's no one up front.
A little bit rushed at the minute from Lau, just wanting to get up the pitch too quickly. Not prepared to just open out, switch the ball to the other side of the pitch, making it very, very easy for Ho Chi Minh just to sit in and win the ball back comfortably. A little bit more composure, just slow things down, try and get a little bit of possession going.
It's a long searching ball, once again looking for Balde. And header which was helped on. Second ball wasn't won by Kong Fong. And a tackle that was thrown in very, very deep and late by Suksavan.
Just raked down the outside of his ankle there. That'll be a sore one. He knows it. He patted him on the back to say sorry. Doesn't need to be told by the referee.
Tung Kwok, who is one of 4 changes today, taking the place of Levan Son down that right-hand side. Kong Tan, who has been an ever-presence in the team in his second year in Ho Chi Minh City. Jakite.
You get the feeling it's going to be a bit of a shift for Djokovic today. He's vastly outnumbered and they're just comfortably playing passes around him. He's going to have to try and maybe conserve a bit of energy and just shut off some options. Try and get them to play a way that his colleagues can kind of shut off and assist him close down. But if he just runs around on his own, he's going to find it very tough today, I get the feeling.
Our ball was struck straight at him and somehow it came off the Frenchman. It's been kept alive pretty solidly. A very ambitious effort in the end, but he did well enough to keep it alive. Pita Kong Mandritat.
I'm going to need to be a little bit closer than that.
Pitak's very much one of the domestic stars of this Lao Toyota side. Top scorer for the Laotian team at the 2017 Southeast Asian Games, so he has a goal or 2 in him.
Big instructions being shouted out early on.
Well, once again, that's a long diagonal, which has been spotted as perhaps one of the Achilles heels of this Lao Toyota side. Their inability to defend those balls that are played at the wing backs who love moving forward. Fitak, that's a clever ball that's played inside to Manolom. Jurkovic, that ball came at him at 100 miles an hour, couldn't control it well enough.
Ho Chi Minh seem to be quite happy just to keep the ball across the back. They know that Lao are going to sit in. They're going to have to try and open that area for them to play in, and just by playing it across the back, they just open that possibility of a ball going forward. Balde taking quite a heavy knock there. You can expect some physicality, I think, when you're that big. No one's going to go easy on you.
It's Naohiro Kawakami, Japanese, who was brave enough to jump when no man wanted to jump. Here is Balde back getting involved in the action again. I think he came from an offside position.
Well, something that Lao really have to figure out is how to compete here, because obviously science means he's going to win that header every day. Now, it's not about the first header, it's about where the ball goes off that first header. Let him win the first one, if that's what it takes. Rather you do that than put yourself out of position by trying to fight for the first header. Just drop back and take it. Let him win the first header and let him flick it on. Got to be a little bit smarter to deal with a player that size, especially when you're giving away so much height.
Some of the Lao Toyota players are complaining it was a pass back to goalkeeper Tan Tang. That certainly was an accidental clearance into the safety of the arms of Tan Tang. Huang Tian just curling that ball into space. It's a mistake at the back and an opportunity for Kong Hien. Trying to go for goal because he looked up and didn't see anyone inside the penalty box. I don't think anyone expected that slip up at all from Saison. Lao Toyota right wing back. So 8.5 minutes played. It has been all Ho Chi Minh. They've asked the more pertinent questions, knocking on the door already, and in fact hitting the upright after a quite splendid save by this guy in the ball, Suktavi Sundala. after just 1.5 minutes. Kong Fong, oh, silky smooth, absolutely brilliant. Balde taking the play a little bit too wide. And was a lot of frustration from Fison more than anything else that Balde's pass wasn't good enough. Had to be better, especially the work that was put out by Kong Fong leading up to that.
Well, this was one of the things that a lot of people said about him in Indonesia, was just that little bit of care. He's a good player, he's got good feet, he's good in the air, he scores goals, but there's a very simple, unpressured pass that he's just played clean off the pitch. And this is a guy who's played in the SBL. He's played at a very high level, yet he's just passed the ball straight off the pitch. These are some of the little things that players start to get a little bit frustrated with, you know, they expect more.
Jurkovic up in the air, and I think he's taken a very hefty challenge, both of them going down.
Yeah, he felt that one, that's for sure. Intent in that challenge.
Viet Phu, fresh from scoring over the weekend against Quang Nam, one of the 3 goals in that 3-1 victory for Ho Chi Minh. And he's up and about. So too, of course, Viet Phu, who was in his first season from Da Nang. Past the 10-minute mark. A very high line put out by Ho Chi Minh. There's your Brazilian international. Jurkovic came from an offside position. Might have been handball anyway, but he certainly was offside.
Teketi running that line very high, feeling very confident that they can deal with anything in behind. You see him just stepping out there. I mean, it's a really good defence, very well organised. He knows where the player is, and as that ball's being taken, he just takes a little step forward, catches him.
It's a little lazy as well from Jurkovic, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you'd like to see him just being a little wiser to that.
Jakite inside to Viet Phu, 28-year-old, once again looking for that long diagonal, searching for the captain. Another mistake and an opportunity this time. Balde is inside. Oh, goalkeeper spilt it. How did he miss that? So that is one of the misses of the season in the AFC Cup, that's for sure. Amido Balde with a goal at his mercy, and now begging for mercy.
He's trying to work out what he's done there. Just couldn't control it.
Well, some things are just unexplainable, and that's one of them in life.
Little comedy of errors there. Good cross, asking a question, keeper gets a hand on it, misses the defender, and somehow manages to put it the wrong side of the post.
Well, even they couldn't believe it on the bench for Ho Chi Minh City. And he's a sort of player who really plays on his confidence, and hopefully that doesn't play against his confidence. Such a confidence player that thrives on goals, as Simon was talking about earlier on. He's already got 3 in this competition.
Oh, when he's good, he's very good. No argument. That's a nice little bit of skill. I was looking for just a little clip to try and get that corner. No, when Balde's good, he's very good. I can testify to that. I've watched him play a lot of times in Indonesia, and I mean he's a real handful to deal with. But he does have a little miss or just lack of focus about him that frustrates fans sometimes.
Antoine, a lot of times they've played the ball wide and long from there. They profited from it on a couple of occasions already. Back to Antoine. Ball played a little too far ahead of him. Viet Phu will take over. Here is Antoine. Neatly inside and snapping into the challenge very well then was Manolom. Working extremely hard to get the ball back. That's a very good play by Huang Tin. Fison, the captain, has been heavily involved to this game. Fita Kongmatilat, the latest to actually take him out. Right, it wasn't actually Fitak, it was Somsavan. Here is Fison using Antoine. Wen Kong Tuan.
Yeah, Lau really working hard to try and shut off those wide areas. You can see a backline of 5 at times trying to deal with those high-lying wing-backs, getting into advanced positions, looking for diagonals. And it does mean that this man Jurkovic is very much up there on his own with 4 in midfield also trying to help that defence. Could do with just getting possibly a few more players forward, maybe trying to put a little bit more pressure on that defence, not allow them play out too easily, but easier said than done, that's for sure.
Well, that was actually the figure of the man who is supposed to move up as quickly as possible whenever Jurkovic has the ball. That's the Brazilian Laercio down this right-hand side. Hasn't been doing that though. Piafong, and then anywhere would do clearance. Nguyen Kong Tan, who scored 2 last year in the V-League. His first 2 goals ever as a professional. Piafong, happy to take any sort of contact and go down.
Yeah, that's the flip side of being that size. It certainly gives you an advantage when you're attacking, but the slightest touch and the referee sees you as a big grizzly bear who's just thrown someone across a pitch, you know. Yeah, frustrating for coaches.
His 15th club in the last 10 years. It's your term of a journeyman. Amido Balde. Jurkovic was going after that ball. It's another one of those. 15th club in his 8th country playing his football. He is chasing after this now. Fisson will turn 28 in 4 days. Pape Diakite. It's from the wonderfully named Tampa Bay Rowdies. That's where he was playing his football before he came over here. Both those players, of course, the African players. Diakite 1.94 meters, Balde 1.93 meters. If you're looking at Lau Toyota, there's a lot of strained necks and looking ups throughout the night, which might play on you. But so far, though, they've done well enough. Dealt with those high balls well enough. It helps as well, Simon, that those high balls are way outside of their goal areas as well. Just that one header that he had at goal, Balde.
Yeah, I think when you have a player like that in the middle, it's not about protecting him. If that ball's already in the air, then you have an issue. Got to stop the cross. Stop the cross, you have half a chance. It kind of takes the effectiveness of being so tall out of the game. If you just wait for the cross to come in and deal with the guy standing on the penalty spot, it's a good chance he's probably going to score. Stop the cross, much easier. That's fairly cynical there. I think he knows exactly what he's doing.
And what it has done is that it has stopped the ball as well, which means it's a dead ball situation. And from here, they won't be able to stop the cross from coming in. It's how high a line they want to play now to ensure that it's not going to be deep inside the penalty box. Well, they're going to play it short anyway. That's a long searching ball yet again. Oh, what a beautiful, sublime touch that one was from Fisson, trying to look for the angle for the cross, but enough players ensuring that there's a cul-de-sac and cutting out that angle straight away for the cross. Wang Tin takes over yet again, and he was pressured. And you'd have to say that's the Lau Toyota defense, despite giving away some easy possession, have pressured the opponents well enough to ensure that there are mistakes made by Ho Chi Minh in the opening 17 minutes of this game.
Yeah, other than the chance from Balde, not really too much penetration, not getting through that bank of 5 and 4. Obviously, they're having to use those 5 guys to be able to have the width, to be able to put pressure on the cross, to try and close down wide areas. But they're doing pretty well so far. You know, one clean-cut chance against a team of this ability with such size. It's a good start, good promising start.
Kawakami will take this. Scored in the game against Yangon. Laosio, who also scored a penalty against Yangon, which is his first goal since 2016, the Brazilian. That's really a wasted situation whenever they have possession of the ball. Those are precious golden moments that you need to keep it as long as possible, but throwing the jewelry away that easily must be real frustration for the coach, for Kuda. It's going to be a free kick to Ho Chi Minh City.
Yeah, Lau slightly off the pace here. I think Ho Chi Minh moving the ball very quickly. A little bit of frustration going in, just feet being left in, allowing a bit of contact.
Piafong, Patamavong. A lot of these Laotian players are full-fledged internationals. Another free kick put out wide to Fison. He's got the overlapping fullback, which he uses as a decoy, and it's going to be a corner to Ho Chi Minh City. And up come Diakite now, and you've got the Twin Towers in the penalty box. Let's see how Lao Toyota deal with Balde and Diakite.
That's 3 or 4 times now they've hit a 60-yard switch, and that fullback, bearing in mind they're defending with 5, that fullback still hasn't been able to get across to the ball. It's causing them issues, Lao Toyota.
Nothing fancy, I'm sure, from this corner. Just hang it up there. And the likes of Yusuf Bamba and Naohiro Kawakami will have a lot of trouble dealing with those two 1.94-meter African players in the box for Ho Chi Minh. This one is drilled in superbly. It's gone past everyone. A chance now for the shot to be taken place by Viet Phu. Couldn't pull the trigger, couldn't actually find the angle for it. They have to recycle and go all the way back to goalkeeper Tan Tang. He's been told to stay on this goal line by Kong Hien. Ngo Huang Tin appearing in his 15th AFC Cup game. Yet again, another one drilled over the same defender and picked up by Fison. Tried to look for Balde, who was in the penalty box, hunting and praying. Cleared finally by Manolom. Viet Phu. Piafong is equaling that header. It's not good news for Ho Chi Minh City. Their captain, Tran Fison, is still down injured. Kong Hien kept it live. It was lost in the end by Guan Tuan. And a chance now for treatment to be meted out to Fison if he is still down.
Already on a yellow card. We just saw him carded. He's got to calm himself down.
He's a player who has a little bit of a temper on him. A tempestuous figure of Fitakon Matilat. Laosier taken out of it by Viet Phu. That's the captain, who is still down injured. Looks as if he's clutching his hamstring, and that's not very good news at all. Tran Fison, of whom they've all been using him as the outlet tonight, hasn't he? Simon, down that right-hand side, he's had the better of the fullbacks from Savant time and again.
Well, it does surprise me that Lao Toyota are allowing it to happen. They're looking to defend with 5, but every single time they're looking up and just hitting it, as we just see that miss from Balde, which even from that angle is quite incredible how he manages to put it that side of the post. You thought it would be easier just to hit it in a straight line. Yeah. Why did I do that? No, they have to stop these diags. These diags and getting in behind are really hurting them. They've got the extra man out there. They can go tight. You get the feeling that, you know, 1 or 2 more, and if this man can put a good delivery in the box with someone like Balde waiting there, that could be something that opens the door.
Well, they do have the figure of Nguyen Chuan Nam on the bench if they need to call upon him. Laos here now with an opportunity for Lao Toyota, though, and they really need to take advantage of these set-piece situations. Diakite has kept them onside. That's a very good header, you'd have to say, from Jurkovic, who got it on target. Couldn't beat the goalkeeper from that angle and that length, though.
It's marshalled very well there by the defence. They've kept everyone nice and high, which kind of takes everybody out of the game. And then Diakite is confident enough to go one-on-one with Jurkovic and can obviously handle the threat that he poses. Just starts that a little bit early just to give himself a yard in behind, and a very difficult header left of Jurkovic to try and get on target or put past the goalkeeper. It's smart defending.
Kong Fong is cutting a very frustrated figure out there after that very bright opening where he fashioned a chance in the opening 2 minutes of the game for Balde. Hasn't really been involved. They have picked him out as the danger man, rightfully so, but they haven't gotten the ball to him enough times, Ho Chi Minh City. And because of that, you saw him earlier on just berating this man on the ball, Viet Phu, for hitting it long when he had come very deep into midfield just to get involved with it. Which is good news for Lao Toyota. They have done the hard part, which is frustrate. And they've had their first header on target as well, Simon.
Yeah, it's a header on target, but you do very, very well to score there. I mean, he's being very tightly marked. Dikete putting pressure on him to even put a head on it. He does very well to keep it on target, to be fair to him. But you have to give props to the organisation of the defence to deal with that.
Huang Tin, who is in his second year. It's a ball that's played in behind the defence, finally looking for Kong Fong. He's got a lot of things that are bright and brilliant about him. Pace certainly isn't one of them, but when he has the ball at feet, there are very few players in Southeast Asia who are as silky as Nguyen Quang Phong. We've only seen it in sporadic moments in this game. He hasn't had enough time to show off yet. Diakite, that's a nice swinging ball inside, looking for the head of Balde, but it's gone all the way across to Kong Hien. It's looking for the angle for the cross and settles for the corner.
Substitution quite early on.
I think it's the captain who's succumbed to his injury, Tran Phi Son. There it is, confirmation of that. Well, he is going to be limping to his birthday party in 4 days from now. That's the unfortunate part. But, it gives the opportunity for Pham Van Tan to see what he can do. It's a little variation on it. Van Tan's first touch at the ball, I'd say very well drilled in, but it's very alert from Jerkovic as well.
It's obviously something they've worked on the training ground there. That corner was delivered with laces on a diagonal to the back post. Great first touch and a hit. They've definitely been working on that at the training ground. It's interesting to see.
Oh, this will be the in-swinger. Let's see if they commit the players towards the goalkeeper just to disturb him a little bit. You'd have to say very well won in the head by Saison. It's not over yet, danger. They found space well enough, but once again, you'd have to say very compact defending by Lao Toyota. They have shut down enough spaces. Hye Seong's men have been very, very frustrated in the offensive third. They have created a few, but perhaps too few for the coach's liking. Balde, that behemoth, trying to put himself about. Took 3 to take the ball off him. It's onside, flag stays down. What a delightful touch that one was. Kong Fong, yet again. Kong Hien, chased down by Laosio. You'd have to say well done to the Brazilian. He's supposed to be joining up with Jerkovic as much as possible, as soon as possible, but he comes back to do his defensive duties as well.
Yeah, working hard in the team. I think he's been told to do that as one of that midfield 4 who track runners. Leaving on Jerkovic there, just to fight for things and work on scraps. And he's done okay so far. He's put a lot of effort in. Been marshalled fairly well by Dikete, but still puts himself about. Still gives his team a chance of just a little bit of respite, just a bit of time on the ball to just slow things down and walk up the pitch. Incredibly important in games like this.
Well, we've hardly seen any sort of passing cadence at all from Lao Toyota. And every time they have that opportunity, they're just hitting it long for either Laosio or Jerkovic. Brazilian tried to keep it alive, failed to do so. He was asking for a free kick, but the assistant referee, who was side by side with the play.
Yeah, strong defending. Just keeping his body in the way, putting it in between the ball and the player, making it very difficult for him. Cool, bit of a bobble there, played it with his shin.
here's the problem for Lao Toyota at the moment. 1, 2, 3 touches, and then that's one is long yet again. It's a tactic, hasn't worked yet, but Jurkovic is trying to make the most out of it. They might have something here from Suksavan. Put all the ball all the way back to Somsavat. Just lifting it in the air, hoping that one of the foreigners would do something about it. Went to the Brazilian Laosio, who couldn't do anything about it against Viet Phu. Clearance wasn't a very good one. Laosio will pick it up and try to worm himself around that Vietnamese defense. A little too strong, too tight. Header by Manolom was a very clever one, finding Somsavat. Out to the other wing back, Saison. Laosio. Saison's asking for it. Laosio wants to do everything himself and almost managed to do that. Well, it's good work by the Brazilian. Couldn't find the final ball inside though.
First bit of sustained pressure we've seen from Lao, linking passes together, moving the ball from side to side. Just trying to stretch this Ho Chi Minh defence a little bit, but ultimately good hands from the keeper. Didn't want to spill anything there for a little tap in. Nice strong hands, being able to just put the ball out of the air there and get it just delivered quickly.
It's very good work by Yusuf Bamba, the Ivory Coast player on the Guinea-Bissau striker. Well, he has been in the wars. Balde.
Just gets a little nuts there. Nice strong hands from a stretching goalkeeper.
So 14 minutes remaining of this first half, which has flitted in terms of the entertainment value. We've had the early chance. If that had gone in, maybe the floodgates would have opened, but it was a very good save by this man, Suktavi, to actually turn it to the upright. And then Balde, of course, is Mr. Real Sitter. Fukuda has had 2 great escapes already in this game. One hauled by his goalkeeper, the other one messed up by the opponent striker. Wang Tin. Viet Phu and Vuan Tuan working it out to Kong Tan. Manolom felt it was a fair challenge, but the referee blew his whistle immediately. He heard contact.
I think the first contact's on the ball there. I don't see an issue with that.
Yeah, the referee saying don't do this again, but you're absolutely right, Simon. Perhaps the empty stadium made that sound, exacerbated the sound more than it should, and because of that, it's the shock of the sound that forced a whistle from the referee.
I didn't see anything wrong with that tackle. Djokovic doing what he can to shut the space down on his own.
One's gone all the way back to Suktavi Sundala. Was the youngest ever goalkeeper to earn an international cap for Laos. That was way back in 2012 in the Suzuki Cup.
He kicked the ball a long way.
Laosio judged the bounce of the pitch pretty well. Manolom losing possession of the ball easily, and Hong Fong really was too casual in terms of his passing. Just not switched on at the moment. Nguyen Kong Fong, I guess being inactive in the game for far too long has perhaps contributed to that.
Well, Ho Chi Minh still struggling to find a way through. It's easy to link passes together when you're only up against one striker, but in the attacking half, they're not finding the penetration. They're not able to find Balde particularly easy. And just as I say that, there's a big long run in behind the defence that's caught. Defender, can they clear it? And they got a little chance just to play a little 1-2 and try and release some pressure.
Easily beaten out to it by Kong Tan. Here is Manalong Phetphakdi, who scored a couple of goals in the Lao Premier League last year. Jakite. Oh, Jurkovic has actually been targeting Viet Phu more than Jakite, trying to bully him, and Jakite has actually tried to magnetize himself onto Jurkovic on personal battles that are going on there on the pitch. As Van Tan takes over, the substitute uses Tong Kong. We haven't seen much of for moving forward. It's broken very kindly, and that timing of the tackle was impeccable.
Yeah.
It had to be. And it has broken clear, and a chance for Lao Toyota to spring something here with Jurkovic on the ball. Jakite side by side with him. Jurkovic has gone down asking for the free kick. He gets a corner. That's a mere consolation. And he's got a chance now to make something out of it, and a chance as well for Bamba, who threw in that magnificent challenge just before that to put the impetus very much in the hands of Lao Toyota now. Their first corner of the match, and you feel that set pieces might be a way forward for them and a way to score in this game. Got to take full advantage of it, despite the height that Ho Chi Minh City have in the penalty box. Good delivery here. Lao Sio had once gone deep, too deep. Ambitious in the end. He struck it sweetly enough, Fitak, but it was always going over.
That one goes in the back of the net. That must be a vote for the Puskas Award. That would have been some finish if that had hit the back of the net.
Jurkovic defending from the front does pretty well. Balde asked to keep the ball, couldn't stick. In the end it does. Goes out to Tung Kwok. Antoine. Space opening up for Hong Tan. Yet again, very good defending, you'd have to say. Unnecessary kick out though by Saison. He
is aggressive. We've seen him being quite aggressive. He's all right with contact.
Second Lao Toyota player booked. Saison joining Fitak in the referee's bad books. And it was for this kick out.
Could possibly be 2 yellows. It's a little unfortunate. That's a yellow both ways. Takes one on the ankle first. Interesting little battle heating up on that side of the pitch. He's been involved quite a few times.
You called it, Simon. It is 2 yellows for Saison and then Kong Tan. I guess the purity of that expression gave the referee all he needed to give the yellow card to the Vietnamese. Viet Phu. Well, they usually like to build up from the back, play their football, but a lot of times they have been unable to do it in this game, using Kong Fong as the fulcrum of the side to stitch things together in the center of the pitch whenever they move forward.
Ho Chi Minh certainly the better technical team. Always looking to try and play forward, just bounce the ball around, trying to create opportunities, but they're going to have to move Lao around a little bit more than this. They're not able to get the penetration they're after.
But it isn't as metronomic as Ho Chi Minh City usually are, Simon. Has it got to do with the pitch as well and the bounciness of the pitch?
Yeah, quite possibly. Quite possibly. It's been a hotly contested game as well. You know, there's a little bit of frustration there, some tackles flying in. But you can definitely see the two game plans. You know, Lao have tipped their hat to Ho Chi Minh. They've said, yep, you're a good team, you can keep the ball, you can have the ball, no problem, but we're just not going to let you in. But they'd like to see them just carry a little bit more of a threat when they do have the ball. They give it away far too easily, and then they have to go back to defending again.
Kong Fong, look how deep he's had to come just to get involved in this game. He's cutting a isolated, frustrated figure up front.
Oh.
Van Tan invites Tung Kwok to run onto this. Good enough defending though by Yusof Bamba, who's arrived from San Pedro in the Ivory Coast League, where he helped them to a runners-up position last year. It's not a very good ball played back by Hwang Tin for Tung Kwok.
It's interesting, since they've lost their captain Tran Vi Song to the injury, there's been no long diagonals over into that corner. They're not able to get that penetration in wide areas anymore. Maybe because that player's not as high, maybe he's not as confident as the captain was. But it's changed their possession a little bit.
Jurkovic, another header won and returned.
That's another yellow card. That's an elbow into the back of his throat, or back of his neck rather. He knows he's not going to win that.
He's cutting a very thin line at the moment,
Manolo. It really is. No intent to try and challenge for the ball at all. Yeah, he knows it. You see his facial expression.
Jakite, only one target to aim for. Balde, who claims that he was backed into by Piafong. Referee wasn't interested. Laurcio into space, but nothing else. Ball's given right back to him. Jurkovic has got to control it. He does first timeouts, but he's closed down straight away. So some very good defending by the defensive midfielders, Antoine especially. That's a pure case of helping the helper for Vietnam's Ho Chi Minh City. Well, Fukuda's game plan at the moment has been working for Lao Toyota.
I think given previous results, you'd take a draw at home. You know, had there been a stadium full of fans, there might be pressure to go for the win, but as there's not a stadium full of fans, you know, taking that point.
They've struggled to bring fans to local football matches. Laos, over the years, highest attended match last year in the Laotian League was 400. The lowest attended was 62. And we're having one of these matches where there is more space between the players, between the fans in the stadium than there are between the players on the pitch. Whole Laotian League, the teams not having their own home ground as well, all of them playing in this stadium. Laurcio couldn't run on to that. Piafong apologized straight away. Idea was to actually use the Brazilian, who has been pretty effective down this right-hand side, swinging those crosses in. Saison is back on his feet again after contributing to that hefty challenge. Balde used his body well enough and then tried to toe poke it into space for Kong Fong. Jurkovic in a position that he absolutely would have adored. Was right at the back, and he had lost Jakite momentarily. Here's the aforementioned Kong Fong getting involved now belatedly, but stripped off it by Fitak too easily.
They're working very hard, very hard defensively. They're not giving any space at all. As soon as the ball's in, yeah, there's another late tackle. They're just that second too slow to react. They're getting by having lots of numbers, slowing or constricting the space, but one-on-one, they're just that slight bit slower than the Vietnamese players. That's why we're seeing quite a few little fouls going on. Just want to hold it out till the half.
Free kick taken too quickly. I think the ball was probably oscillating and wasn't happy with the fact that the ball wasn't its full 10 yards. Well, they've taken away one option at least. This one will be swung in for sure. Minute to go to half-time. Great time to find a goal. They almost scored. A minute into the game. Can they score a minute before half-time? That one's gone all the way through and would have put some trouble on the goalkeeper who was watching it all the way, and Balde couldn't get at the end of it.
Really good delivery. Very, very difficult to deal with. Above the heads of the defenders, but at the feet of the goalkeeper. Just a really difficult ball to either clear or for the goalkeeper to deal with. Just couldn't get on the end of it. Well, I think the Lao head coach will certainly be the happier of the two going into the half. You know, half a game plan done, another 45-minute game. Don't let them score. Go home happy.
And if you're He Seong, the coach of Ho Chi Minh City, how are you going to break down this defense then?
Well, it's difficult when five and four stay. They need to find space in between the two. As much as there is two lines, there is still that little bit of space if you can break through the lines. We saw in the first game earlier. Goal scored by PSM was a really driven ball that just found a bit of space in between the lines. If they can find that space with someone like Balde, for example, and then play off him, they might just be able to unlock the door. But ultimately, it's just about scoring a goal. Anything, could be a set piece, anything that unlocks that defence changes the shape of the game. Now the opponents have to come forward. Now Lao have to come out. Probably a few more goals after it, but it's that first one.
The first one might go to Lao if they play this one right. They've switched around with player on the outside as Saison was very much isolated. All the action is happening down that same flank of Somsaban, so that cross-field pass wasn't really on, was ill-advised. It's going to be a free kick for sure. The referee hasn't called on it, so Kong Fong has gotten away with that push. And the referee puts an end to the first 45 minutes, which really had very little in terms of goal-mouth action. But we had chances, especially for Amido Balde, who had an effort saved after 1.5 minutes from the goalkeeper. Suktabi pushed it on to the upright and then had another one with a goal at its mercy and was all pants about it and put it wide. And inexplicably 0-0 at the break.
Day is better with friends.
It's lights out and away we go. Here they come, boys. He's like a prize fighter out there with a heavyweight world championship belt within his grasp.
It's now or never. Oh my goodness! World SBK is back in 2020, and boy is it back in style.
Magnificent header. Gorgeous start from Dortmund. Absolutely fantastic. What a game this has been. Too much.
You gotta feel good for the man tonight.
He's a phenomenal fighter and a phenomenal champion.
This is the XFL punt. This is about coaches thinking twice about punting or going for it on 4th down. In the XFL, if a punt goes into the end zone, the receiving team gets the ball on their 35. And forget about coffin corner kicks. Punts that travel out of bounds are placed at the 35-2 or where the ball left the field, whichever is better for the receiving team. Plus, the punting team can't cross the line of scrimmage until the ball is kicked. So the receiving team is less likely to call for a fair catch and more likely to return it. We're making the punt more about coaches going for it on 4th down. So get ready to get loud, because a crazy return or fourth down conversion could be coming up. This is for the love of football. This is the XFL.
Football never rests, and neither do we. So, let's go. Personally, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer swept this one under the carpet.
They weren't clinical enough up front.
Yeah, I'd be worried about the Tottenham fan.
We got some feedback here that I think is really relevant, Erling Haaland. Discuss. The English FA should merge the League Cup and the FA Cup. Try to stop him. Try to stop Thierry Immobile. That's the problem you've got.
Giggle, count us down. Woody, you are gonna love this.
Yeah, Combat Carl's getting played with.
The whole gang's still together.
Let's go!
Yeah.
Look who jumped 40 school buses and landed back in my life.
Who needs a kid's room when you can have all of this? It's time for the next kid.
Toy Story 4 premieres March 14th, only on Fox Movies.
We moved to Greece in order to witness an international cross-country rally event, the Rally Greece Off-Road, which was held for its 7th consecutive year in the city of Kastoria, in the northwest part of the country. The 7th Rally Greece Off-Road is second on the tour of the East European Tout-Terrain series. In a previous episode, we travelled to Israel for the Desert Baha. This significant international cross-country rally was the first round of the 2019 East European Tout-Terrain Series season, and we couldn't miss the chance to follow the action in its second round.
The East European Tout-Terrain Series is one idea that started 3 years ago with 4 organizers from Greece, from Romania, Bulgaria, and then we have added also Turkey, and this year also Israel. We hope next year Bulgaria to be again in our calendar.
The 31 competitors that participated in the event arrived from Greece, Cyprus, Italy, Belgium, Bulgaria, Turkey and Israel. And among them are some famous teams and drivers that have participated in the legendary Dakar race. This year's event was one of the biggest and longest automobile races conducted in Greece, compared to the amount of days and shorter distances that competitors had to accomplish previously. During the 4 days of the race, drivers had to cover almost 800 kilometres, from which 520 kilometres were special stages. Through these demanding races emerged the winners, final classifications in categories and classes. The main attraction for the spectators was the 3 days of the super special stage, set in the heart of the city. The unexpectedly high temperatures, the absence of wind, and the high percentage of humidity really challenged the competitors. So much so that they were happy just to be able to finish the race. At the end of the long race, the crowd greeted the participants with warm applause as they passed. In the car category, Gal Sakam and Ophir Nimrod of Israel, with a sophisticated Mitsubishi L200, celebrated the title. leaving in second place the Greeks Petros Choutis and Kostas Makris with their Mitsubishi Piero. The pair kept pushing for victory up until the very last special stage. In the SSV SXS category, the winners were Kafri Zahi and Shai Regev from Israel with their Can-Am Maverick X3, followed by the Italian son and father team Pietranera and Edoardo Fabrizio, also in the Can-Am Maverick X3. This year's organisers, with the assistance of the Castoria region and the Castoria municipality, offered participants a high level of organisation, with a reputation hard-won during all the previous editions of the rally. The Rally Greece Off-Road has already started preparations for the next season. The 8th Rally Greece Off-Road in 2020 will be even more challenging, and we will be there to witness all the action.
How far will our nomadic species have wandered by the end of the next century? Who will we become in the far future?
Just amazing. So good, so tempered, so perfect.
This is turning into quite a performance, delighting the crowd, embracing the occasion.
Oh, absolutely sensational. That had a bit of everything in it.
And it just gets better and better.
AFC double strike.
Larkin Stadium in Johor, royalty in the house.
Asia's theatre of football.
What a goal!
Where the passionate fans inspire clubs to chase continental glory.
Well, it's absolutely class.
AFC double strike. Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Live on Fox Sports.
How far will our nomadic species have wandered by the end of the next century? Who will we become in the far future?
The question is not who you are,
Germany's biggest local rivalry.
but whose side are you on?
They don't like each other very much.
Choose your club.
This game is about pride, passion, commitment, and glory.
Wear the colours.
In one corner yellow, in the other royal blue.
Live the identity.
A derby like no other.
Borussia Dortmund versus FC Schalke 04. Live on Fox Sports. There's a fine line between fast and fastest. Success
10 corners to go.
and failure.
Someone hit me.
Teammates and rivals. Between the greats and the greatest. The new season of Formula One. Live on Fox Sports.
It's lights out and away we go.
Here they come, boys.
He's like a prize fighter out there with the heavyweight world championship belt within his grasp.
It's now or never.
Oh my
2020, and boy is it back in style.
Magnificent header.
Gorgeous start from Dortmund.
Absolutely fantastic.
What a game this has been.
You got to feel good for the man tonight.
He's a phenomenal fighter and a phenomenal champion.
And welcome back to the Vientiane National Stadium here in Laos, the home side Lao Toyota. And that final huddle before they take to the pitch for the second half, you'd have to say, job done. 45 minutes where they've kept out the likes of Diakite and Balde. Just about, as far as Balde is concerned, one header which was well saved by the goalkeeper, and another one he should have scored in that open goal, but she missed. If he had turned that ball into the back of the net, Amido Balde, Simon, that would have changed the complex of the game.
Yeah, we see Lao Toyota in the first half have really set their stall out as a defensive unit. They're almost playing for a 0-0. They would much rather not concede than actually score a goal at the minute, and that's fine. That's a tactical, setup. That's what they've decided to do. But one of those chances in the back of the net would change the whole complexion of the game and really throws their game plan out. So they've got to stay concentrated. They've got to stay focused, and if they can get through 0-0, that's a really good home result for them.
Well, these two sides have scored goals in their first two matches in Group F, of which Ho Chi Minh City have drawn one and won one. Their third match, all away matches. That means that's in the second phase of this Group F competition. Ho Chi Minh City is going to play every match at home, and that certainly would work to their advantage in a Vietnamese league where they have to be played behind closed doors for the time being because of the coronavirus situation. So off we go then for the second 45 minutes, and hopefully there will be a change to that scoreline as you're seeing at the bottom of your screen. Laurcio, every time he got in touch with the ball down that right-hand side, alarm bells rang at the heart of the Ho Chi Minh City defense. Balde coming very back to win that header. Kong Kwong, always sublime with his touches of the ball, and keeps it brilliantly and keeps it alive as well for Tung Kwok. Haven't seen much of him moving forward. Tung Kwok, Van Tan, the substitute who came on and hasn't really had the same sort of impact that the man he replaced put on in the first 20 minutes of the game, Fison. Van Tan all the way out to Kong Hien. Kong Tan on a retreat now. Oh, I tell you what, they were very fortunate that it came off the hand of Laurcio. He's claiming he didn't move towards the ball.
Well, he did move his hand towards it, but he didn't try and take his hand away, did he? More of the same from Roy Toyota. Just sitting in, back five with a tightly constricted four. Just making sure they shut up the middle of that pitch, not allow any little combinations or any space in behind. And then that lone man of Djurkovic just on his own up top, chasing things down.
Diakite having to go all the way back to a goalkeeper, Tan Tang, who was the first choice custodian for Ho Chi Minh City last year, and he will have some competition from Thien Dung this year. Thien Dung, of course, was the star goalkeeper for Vietnam. They finished second in the Under-23 Championships just 2 years ago. That ball was way too ambitious from Diakite. Too much juice behind it.
Been impressed by Diakite so far. Hasn't really looked rushed, hasn't looked like he's had to sprint, but he's marshalled that back line very well, kept them very well organised. Nice and physical, not giving Djurkovic any sort of opportunity at all. Impressive figure at the back there.
Saison. It's well won by Suksaban in the air. Balde took that one down brilliantly against Kawakami. skipped away, and that's a perfect pass as well for Kong Fong, who just couldn't get it around Pia Fong. Important challenge from the number 4.
Lovely feed there from Balde, just skipping past a couple of Ota legs, just trying to stick their leg in and nick it off him. That's what you expect from someone who's played at the level he has.
Antoine is going to be taking the corner now. Responsibilities have gone to his left peg, tries to swing it in towards the goalkeeper so that the likes of Balde and Diakite will be on rushing and attacking it instead of backpedaling. This one is swung in very close to the goalkeeper. Oh! Very close, and you'd have to say very well done as well by Bamba, who came back and put some sort of resistance against Balde, who had a goal at his mercy yet again, but this time Bamba came all the way back and stuck with him.
Just enough to put him off there. You could see that Diakite was looking up at Balde as that corner was being taken. He was just giving him the eyes. He was blocking off his man, so as Balde runs past, Diakite steps across and blocks his man. But they do very well just to get up there and challenge. It's just enough to put him off, not a clean header. Still, though, goes down as a chance.
Not a penalty for you, Simon. A tug of the jersey from Bamba.
No, I don't think so. You don't get penalties given against big men like that. It's just, you know, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, life is unfair as it is already, right?
It is. When you're that big, you've got enough advantages. You don't need penalties as well.
Huang Tin was taken over as a captain for the side, with Fison out injured. He's just trotting around right across square down that central midfield zone, trying to eat up as much space as possible. But that one they put long, right onto the head of Pia Fong. Easily prevents the ball from getting through to his goalkeeper. Kong Fong was on rushing from the back. Huang Tin available, but Kong Tan's taking some time to take that throw. It's a very messy display so far from Ho Chi Minh. The opening exchanges of this second half, which suits Lao Toyota. Happy to let their opponents just heave the ball up in the air and find no direction and purpose from their attacks, but this one has got a little bit more zip behind it until that final pass by Antoine. She apologizes for. Djokovic a little too over-eager in trying to get to the ball.
It's not the strongest of touches. But the Ho Chi Minh man knows he's there. Just waits for the contact. Opportunity to put another dead ball into an area with two big guys ready to attack it.
They certainly have the perfect exponent to actually put this in. Kong Fong, deadly with his deliveries.
Two of them here just trying to block each other's man.
Oh, he's gone very deep with this one, way too deep, and goalkeeper almost spilt it then. Suktabi gathered it, second time of asking Suktabi Sundala. Manalom is managing to divert the ball to Pia Fong into space for Laosio. Had actually made the run forward, then Saison, and then Laosio delayed the pass. Saison had vacated his position already by the time the pass was delivered. Kong Fong, the idea was right, the delivery wasn't.
Little indication there from the goalkeeper. Quite happy to let that roll out and have a slow, drawn-out goal kick rather than just keep possession of the ball, dish it out to a defender and keep the game rolling. Just slowing the game down. Another 3 or 4 minutes just wasted. Clear indication of the intention, really, of Lao Toyota in this game.
It's Djokovic's ploy, isn't it? Stay as far away from Diakite as possible. The ball's going to get to him. The Frenchman doesn't win it in the air against Tung Kwok. Balde, whose jersey was certainly tugged by Bamba. Yes, Pape Diakite. Huang Tin. Viet Phu. Clever ball. To find more opportunities to play it down the channels, which a lot of those have been closed for the majority of this game. That was opened only momentarily. It worked that 1-2 pretty well. It was that handball. I think the assistant referee spotted that.
Yeah, another opportunity for a dead ball delivery.
Tung Kwok. Anton. It's cleared anywhere would do, but everyone in white in this half, everyone in red in their own. Balde winning that one easily. Bamba has lost the height and the flight of the ball, and they escape.
Scrappy all round at the minute. No one really putting their foot on it and grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck, driving their own team forward. It's just a little bit of miscontrol and possession being changed backwards and forwards.
Kong Fong, that's a lovely curl behind that corner. Kawakami, I thought last came off him, but it wasn't. It was Viet Phu who last touched the ball, so it's going to be a goal kick for Lao Toyota. Great shape behind this cross, Simon.
Yeah, lovely delivery. Just gives players the opportunity to attack it, and just takes it tantalizingly away from the goalkeeper. Outswinger always designed for a keeper to just come out and try and take it, and then realizes it's too far. Yeah, nice delivery.
Oh, there's a little problem with the transmissions from the Vientiane National Stadium. Goalkeeper's kick was a little too long. It's Ho Chi Minh City side who are finding a way through in this game and trying to find any sort of headway. Balde loses control of it, but they still have possession of the ball with Antoine. Couldn't keep it though. Easily cleared by Saison.
Surprised that's not a foul. Gete happy to let the ball bounce, which is an interesting decision. And then just cleans Djokovic off it.
Huang Tin just slightly behind Anton, and it's gone to Kong Tan. These Ho Chi Minh players, at least the club in itself, is playing in the AFC Cup for the very first time, as opposed to Lao Toyota, third year in the tournament proper for them. It's been a long climb. In fact, when Simon was managing in Vietnam, this team from Ho Chi Minh City were actually playing in Division 2 then. But they've spent the last 4 years in Division 1. They finished second last year, which was a tremendous achievement. And it'll be something as well if they manage to go all the way this time in this competition. Tough ask. They're not finding any joy against this Laotian side after 57 minutes.
No, they're tough, they're organised, and you know, they're quite happy to mix it in terms of the physicality. They're not intimidated by the two big boys from Ho Chi Minh at all. As long as they stay focused. Ho Chi Minh really struggling to find space to try and penetrate this bank of four, closely followed by a bank of five. Not giving them any space, hassling them all over the pitch. Especially Balde. He gets special treatment. 2 or 3 come across when the ball goes into his feet.
Kong Fong finally finding some room. Gets the ball back from Huang Tin. When Kong Fong. That's a lovely ball clipped into space for Balde. Superbly done. And that was an opportunity. Their best so far in this second half, but spurned by Van Tan.
Probably the best move of the game, that. Really lovely little ball in. Great awareness from Balde, knowing that if he puts his head in it, it's just too much. And just couldn't get his leg over the ball. He's always leaning back. A nice little move, that. That's what they've got to do. Might take something special, but they've certainly got it in them. They've shown that.
that was really the first passage of play where you saw Ho Chi Minh City actually retain the ball and keep it a lot longer, and playing that long diagonal, that long ball looking for Balde as the only outlet. And finally, Jerkovic is giving a referee some sarcastic applause for giving him this decision. Piafong, it's his turn to deliver a long diagonal, and it was a very accurate one as well, finding Somsavat. That's disappointing. When you are so starved of the ball, whenever you have it, you need to keep it preciously.
Yeah, they did so well, and then just to pass the ball off the back of the pitch is, from one of your foreign players, very frustrating. But as long as it stays 0-0, Laos still have a chance. That'll always be in the mind of Ho Chi Minh as well. They'll always know 0-0, one slip, one accident, one good set piece, one mistimed tackle. Very fine line to walk along.
Nontong Kwok. His throw was taken over by Van Tan. And the ball's... initially it looked as if Lao Toyota had won the throw, but it's gone against them. A longer throw this time, but Bamba abandoned marking duties on Balde to ensure that ball didn't get any further. He's done well in the air. It's 3 in a row already he's won against Balde. Substitution imminent. And, Ho Chi Minh have already made one. Are they going to make another? Is it Balde? I think it's Balde who will be coming off.
That was the chance. Really well made chance. And then there was this one, which came to him very quickly. Just couldn't adjust his feet to get the right connection on it. He'll still be scratching his head now, sat on the bench.
Wen Chon Nam, who over the weekend was the only player in the V-League to score more than a goal. A brace against Quang Nam, and he's come on to take the place of Balde.
Well, a different dynamic now. It'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. A big man who is obviously attracting players to him and using his strength. So probably a player more suited to playing on the floor.
Chon Nam is as direct as you'd get and very quick. So they're replacing height with pace. Might be a change in the playing style as well for Ho Chi Minh. In the final 29 minutes of this game, play it more along the ground than just a hit and hope policy, which hasn't worked for the first hour.
Now they need to have a little think about it, because what they've done so far has not been enough. They've not put enough pressure on the three centre-backs. I mean, they're playing with three, okay, fair enough, but they've not caused any issues really. It's been fairly comfortable for the three of them, even dealing with Balde, so maybe having someone a little bit quicker, a little bit sharper on the ground is going to cause a different problem.
Jakite is signalling to the bench. Viet Phu chased down by Jerkovic, who is trying to lead by example. He is the captain after all. Antoine. That's that long diagonal switch which they use quite regularly in the first half, but not so much in the second half. Almost finding the foot of Kong Hien, who had burst forward. Hong Fong. And to go all the way back to Kong Hien. They don't have Balde there anymore. Kawakami, the free header clear. That's a very clever ball played outside. And here's the opportunity for the breakaway. Couldn't really take advantage of it. body thrown, flying all over the place. Manalom winning one in the air in midfield. There's a chance to put ball on the ground now for Huang Tin. Antoine asking Vietvu to help with the clearance, and that's not a very good one. It's very good pressure this from Lao Toyota. Good passage of play for the home side until that's happened from Saison.
Yeah, do very well to... It's incredibly frustrating for a coach. Getting your players motivated, chasing guys down, forcing the error, winning the ball back. Okay, now let's go up the pitch, and you pass the ball straight off the pitch. It's so frustrating.
Well, he's trying to make up for it by winning those second balls. Had gone out of play already before he effected the clearance. Ho Chi Minh still not finding the password yet to have that little breakthrough in this watertight defense, the safe. No one's got the skeleton key. Kong Fong certainly has the creative abilities, but we haven't seen much of him. And here he is on the ball, right on cue. Trying to slalom his way past a couple of challenges, too many challenges perhaps.
Well, we said before the game that teams coming from different types of background, obviously there's a stronger team here and there's a team that play in a lesser league, with greatest respect to the Lao setup. It's about finding what you can do and what you're strong at, and how you can cause difficulties for the opponent. And so far, Lao Toyota have done very well. Yes, it's a 5 and a 4. It's not particularly pretty. It's not going to win any awards for great play, but it's been very effective against a team we know to be high scorers and difficult. So, fair play to Lao Toyota. They're working incredibly hard to keep this 0-0, and so far are very deserving of a clean sheet. I just hope they can focus and see it through to the end.
Well, it's been 17 matches since they've kept a clean sheet, Lao Toyota, in the AFC Cup. So this will be some sort of a milestone if they manage to do it against the runners-up of the V-League.
That's really good refereeing for me. I know you don't often get to hear that, but the fact that he's telling the goalkeeper there was no contact there, there is nothing wrong with you, play on. Very refreshing to hear that. And as you can see, there's nothing wrong with the goalkeeper, yet he's holding his head. So, good refereeing that.
For Ho Chi Minh, it's also going to be big news if they manage to keep out the Lao Toyota strike force. The last time they kept a clean sheet was the 12th of July last year. 17 games ago for Ho Chi Minh City. That was against Bin Dong, the V-League. Jakite with the biggest boot in the world. Right down the throats, but only one player from Ho Chi Minh up front chasing after that. That was Kong Fong. Oh, that's going to be a free kick, easily given away. Saison yet again.
There's a few serial offenders in this game, and you just get the feeling that one more, two more, and we could be seeing someone taking an early shower. It's not been a malicious game, it's been hotly contested, but there has been a few just mistimed tackles. I think one more, and the referee might be forced to do something about it.
Hong Fong took that one down well enough first time out. Chuan Nam, though, tried to get involved, but was beaten to it.
Foul.
Referees acknowledge it would have been a free kick for Lao Toyota, but has played the advantage. Is there any advantage here at all? It's well marshalled that time by Kong Tan, who just kept out at the run then of Soksavan, Sansavan and Laosio.
That's the lightest of touches. I mean, if... I don't know how he can be holding his face there when the contact came from behind. I mean, that's slightly embarrassing from a captain. Wouldn't expect to see that.
Laosio, it's very clever. He's found the angle for the pass, but Manolom's gotten himself into a tight situation in the end, and the cul-de-sac ensured that it's going to be a throw taken a little further away by Saison. Saison waiting for a cross to be delivered. Manolo finally with a real up and under. It's a decisive goalkeeping by Tan Tang, not very far though in terms of the punch. Diakite helps with the clearance. Good header, one back inside, and a chance to actually keep it alive with a pass outside because there was a player free and available, but Manolam decided to take that wild lash at goal. Jakite, Huang Tin. He's trying to be the real pivot in this team, which everything comes from. Well, he's another one who's been on a yellow card, Vitak.
Yeah, we've seen him give a few away. Left his foot in once or twice.
Kong Fong not going to give up the chase.
Very well there. And then gets himself a free kick. Yeah, did very well.
Because Vitaku, who spent the second part of last year playing in Division 2 in Thailand against Kong Fong, is of course one of Vietnam's footballing superstars. Free kick was clever enough and almost found that right ball to Laosio. Kong Fien, not the best of touches, got the ball behind him and it should be in his stride. Huang Tin onside. Van Tan working the 1-2 well enough with Tung Kwok. Van Tan, Xuan Nam, Huang Tin. Oh, that's another very good ball from the captain. He's capable of a lot better than that. So probably caught in two minds then. Wanted to swing the ball out wide and in the end played the wrong pass. Laosio on the breakaway now for Lao Toyota. Only one inside the penalty box. Djokovic joined by Suk Savan. And Brazilians done well enough to win the corner, despite being in an almost tight situation, in a no-win situation then.
Slack play from Ho Chi Minh. Really good build-up. Okay, it's, you know, they play a very short, I don't want to say tiki-taka because that's far too much used, but a short passing game. And then the captain really just giving the ball away and allowing a counter-attack that's ended up in a dangerous set piece here.
Norihiro is right up there. Goalkeeper is there too. Got into a mix with a fellow defender. It's kept alive and then cleared at the end easily. Kong Fong, the only one up front, might chase after this. Oh. Almost pilfering it from Manolam.
Had no idea he was there, did he, as he turned? No idea.
Hit himself well enough. Well, he did score a goal against Laos in the 2018 Suzuki Cup when Kong Fong. He's hoping to do likewise against the Laotian team. The Southeast Asian zones, of course, in the AFC Cup. Very tight matches, only one from each group guaranteed of a place in the next round. Huang Tin, surrounded by a sea of red, had to turn away and turn back for help. Jakite. They're trying to build it up patiently and slowly until that long ball was put up by Kong Tan. Finding Kong Fong, breaking clear. Xuan Nam, Kong Fong beside him. Xuan Nam decides to take it on by himself and rifles it into the back of the net. Super sub Nguyen Xuan Nam continues his hot scoring streak with another goal, and this one was pummeled into the back of the net.
Really good finish. Had to be as well. The opportunity came. There hasn't been many clear-cut chances. So when that opportunity came, he knew he had to punish them. And just that little slip has cost. But what a finish. Goalkeeper, no chance. Arguments for a free kick there, possibly contact as he's on. It's a tough one. But no argument with the finishing.
Well, there was a point where you're almost begging for him to release the ball to a hot-scoring Kong Fong. But if you scored 2 over the weekend, why not go for goal yourself? He's now scored 3 in 1.5 games. Xuan Nam becomes the first player other than Nguyen Kong Fong and Amido Balde, whom he replaced, to score for Ho Chi Minh City in the AFC Cup. finally breakthrough for Hae-seong. And he'll say he knew what he was doing all along when he took out his star striker and top scorer.
Yeah, of course he will.
Now then, what's going to be the game plan for Fukuda and Lao Toyota, Simon?
Well, this will be the interesting watch now. It's been based on keeping them out. They haven't been able to do that, and if they're going to get anything out of the game, they've got to commit more players forward. So this could lead to possible equaliser. It could lead to 2 or 3 the other way. Just over 16 minutes left. We'll see how Lao Toyota respond to conceding a goal. Can they just rally? Can they pull something out? They've got to get closer to Djokovic if they're going to give him any opportunity of linking up. But one thing this Ho Chi Minh team have been able to show they can do is keep the ball. And now they don't have to score, they can just keep the ball for fun. So really, emphasis is on Lao to try and change the game, to try and find something, because Ho Chi Minh can just keep the ball from now until the end. And there's the 3 points comfortably going back to Ho Chi Minh.
Well, the problem for Lao Toyota is that they do not have enough depth on the bench or a player to call upon from the bench to affect the game. The best players are out there on the pitch, so maybe a change in formation, if anything. But nothing from the bench that will be an ally up front for Djokovic. If anything, this man throwing in now, Laosio, to move further up front to join Djokovic. Might be the only option for them.
Yeah, they've kept 5 back at most points during the game to deal with the threat in wide areas. Maybe drop into a back 4, maybe even going for broke and drop into a back 3 and just trying to pin them in a little bit more, try and get higher up the pitch. Got to try something.
As the hero for the moment. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Something sprung from the bench just to spring his team to life. Easily marshalled out by Tung Kwok for a throw to Ho Chi Minh. Djokovic wants them to take it as quickly as possible. I believe that Sasson, number 7, has succumbed to injury himself down the right-hand side, and he has been replaced. We'll confirm that for you in a while. Piafong certainly still on the pitch, so it means that they're still playing with a 3 at the back. Kawakami can play up front as well. During his spell in Singapore, that he was used once in a while whenever his teams were behind, move forward and join in the attack. So that's another option. So that is the substitution. Bun Fitak coming on for Sasson. Bamba. So clearance easily picked up by Van Tan, who's protected the ball well enough all the way back to Viet Phu. Well, Bamba's flying all over the pitch.
Very athletic. I don't speak Vietnamese, but I'm pretty sure he's saying, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. No need, just keep bouncing the ball around. Emphasis now is on Lao to go and win the ball off them.
There's a chance opening up right now. Xuan Nam, who believes he can do anything from anywhere, and tried that. Oh, tell you what, he is very close from taking the ball out off the penalty box. Well, can't fault the industry of Jurkovic. He has worked pretty hard and he's been tireless up front. But just hasn't been able to release himself from those shackles of the Ho Chi Minh City defense. Laurcio's come down this left-hand side just to help things out a little bit, but still unable to infiltrate. Norihiro, the anti-hero of the subplot at the moment after that slip-up, which allowed Shan-Nam to take that shot to make it 1-0, the only goal of the game. Relief more than anything else from the Ho Chi Minh City bench.
Even Balde clapping as the camera panned across there.
Which is good to see. We've seen a couple of clubs already in this competition, the AFC Cup, where the foreigners have been berating the locals for not being good enough. And it's nice to see some of the foreigners actually appreciating the quality of the local players that they're playing alongside. Jakite. Outlet on the left-hand side is Kong Hien. Kong Fong once again just buzzing around at the moment, and he is purring, especially after the goal is scored. He has been given a lot more room. That was the out ball, wasn't it, in the first 20 minutes of the game when Fisson, the captain, was playing. It's going to be a free kick if the ball is stopped. Well, it's not called, it's not flagged either by the assistant referee. Vitaka finally able to steal the ball away and then win the free kick at the same time. Remonstrations against the assistant referee, of which the referee is coming over.
Reminiscent of John Terry there, tackling with his head. The lightest of touches there, actually on the ball. Obviously holds his knee.
You're certainly not happy at all. I thought that he was fouled.
The fact that his screams echo throughout the stadium. That's not a great ball.
Kong Fong, how good was he in taking that ball right in his stride, off his chest? Absolutely brilliant, but then the tackle was just as good, wasn't it, from the substitute, Bun Fitak. Instead, Kong Fong, one of the best in Southeast Asia, straight on and won the battle. Laurcio, too high for him.
Oh, he needs to calm down. All that's going to do is just rile his teammates up. And right now there's 3 or 4 of them just on a little bit of a fine line. One little tackle might just get them sent off, and they don't need that for the next game.
Ball that's played in behind the defense. Pia Fong had to make sure that he won the ball, otherwise it was a breakaway for Xuan Nam, who has acclimatized pretty well since he's come on. The number 11 for Balde. Just when you thought that you've gotten rid of one, another one comes on as the main buzzkill and actually gets the goal. There's plenty frustration. Bamba's clearance only half cleared. Kong Fong still there. It's going to be a corner.
It's quite amazing how often that happens. You know, a player of Balde's quality who's obviously played at a good level, the defence are used to dealing with him, and then all of a sudden there's something different comes on, and straight away he gets an opportunity and finishes it. Incredible how often that happens.
Kong Fong decides to take it short. Angle is open for the cross. It's a little too deep. Djokovic not the most convincing of clearances, so it's still kept alive for Ho Chi Minh City. That's a delightful little cross. Goalkeeper did well enough with the catch. Had to palm it away. Suktavi got there.
Really good delivery there. Making that goalkeeper come and take it, and a little bit of head tennis, just gets the ball away. teasing the goalkeeper off his line.
Here is Kong Fong. Still Nguyen Kong Fong. Was almost invited to take a shot at goal. Somehow managing to skip away from a couple of challenges. Shot finally comes in, and it was an embarrassing effort in the end by Kwok. Tung Kwok. Manalom. Bunfitak. He's brave enough to keep the ball, the substitute. Brave enough to accept any sort of contact and go down to win the free kick.
Well, it's a little bit disappointing from Lao Toyota. They've not tried to do anything. They've still got the 5 across the back. They're not really venturing forward too much.
Diakite a little late in the challenge, coming in against Soksavan.
Just taking his size 14 out of Suksavan's chest there. Whoop. Little mismatch there, I think.
Suksavan. Well, he is a warrior in a lot of sense of the word, Suksavan, who was playing for the Lao Army last year. You got to be a warrior in order to be in the service, and he's come straight back up. Now there's no Balde inside there now, so they've taken one big man out, and you've got the likes of Kawakami, Jurkovic, and Bamba in the box. Delivery, though, didn't give any one of the three any sort of a chance at all to do something in the air.
Oh, skill of the game so far. Wow.
He has that in his locker, Fitak. We saw that. At the 2017 SEA Games, especially when he was outstanding.
They just had to let the Ho Chi Minh player back in the stadium. He was that far gone. Wow.
And here he is again, Fitak.
And that one going under his foot. It's crazy, isn't it? Crazy. Bit of outrageous skill, and then doesn't control that one.
Well, he'll tell you he intended that to be a dummy for his teammate behind. He knew his teammate was behind all along, and he's won a free kick. The teammate, that is Manalom. Well, they need to take advantage of this. They've had numerous dead ball situations. They've wasted all of them. Will this one count for Lao Toyota? This one's flung in. Offside flag hasn't gone up. And it was such an important touch by Viet Phu, because there were 2 players in red behind him. Xuan Nam trying to go pace for pace, stride for stride with Soksavan, who played it off him for a throw to Lao Toyota. 4 minutes left to get something out of this game. Can't do it with a touch like this from Pia Fong. Very disappointing. Just when they had their tails up, momentum on their side, forcing a couple of free kicks, and then a touch like that, and you're back defending again. This was it, Simon.
Wow.
Kong Fuong kept it in play.
Oh, that's an outstanding bit of individual skill. To try that on live TV when you're 1-0 down in the AFC Cup, I mean, that could go horribly wrong.
Once again, happy to play it short, take as much time as possible. Here is Kong Fuong. We're unhappy with that very late challenge on him, Kong Fuong. Yet again, doors were open for the shots, but he declined the invitation. Just kept it in. Oh, how sublime was that from Kong Fuong.
Party tricks coming out now.
Yeah, he
went after the next guy as well.
The header was on. Bamba kept it out, repelled it. That wasn't the best of efforts from Huang Tin. Somehow it's a great pass. Bamba managing to just head it away, but it's not very far. Kwong Hien looking for the angle for the cross. Kwong Tam. Kong Fuong. But Bunfitak has come right at him, and he might have to watch his legs here because of that little nutmeg that he gave earlier on.
There's a tackle coming. Got to be careful.
Well, that was it's a chance for a breakaway here from Laurcio. That's very good defending, preventing the shots from coming in. It's Kong Fong who's not going to get involved with this because he came from an offside position. I'd love to see if that little party trick again, that's a nutmeg that he threw on Bunfitak. Poor Bunfitak. He's got relatives watching, you know, to have that right in his face then.
He's got to have that replayed on Twitter 3 or 4 times and still have the motivation to get up in the morning.
There's a late break away from Kong Fian. He's not going to get at the end of it. And a final change from Ho Chi Minh now. When Hu Tan, who was the only Ho Chi Minh player who was in the V-League Best 11 last year. A defender who is extraordinary in terms of man marking. He's capped a couple of times in World Cup qualifiers last year as well, Hu Tan. And he comes on for Huang Tin, which means the captaincy takes its 3rd trip for Ho Chi Minh City tonight. And this time it goes to Antoine. So it's the turn of the Vietnamese side to almost play with 3 at the back.
It's one thing I do remember about my time in Indonesia was that, in Vietnam, was their ability just to keep the ball.
Xuan Nam, oh, that's brilliant. That is
what a goal.
Absolutely brilliant. Well, when you're on form, you just feel that everything you touch is going to bulge the net, and that is exactly how Xuan Nam is feeling at the moment. That little touch to sell Kawakami to the ground, and then the next to place it into the back of the net. Call your friends up to watch this, Xuan Nam. You get the accolades. This was brilliant.
Yeah, really good goal there, and really well worked. I mean, way before the actual footage cut in here, the passing was excellent, moving the ball around nice and comfortably, and then back to goal, little swivel, sells the dummy, and then a nice comfortable finish in the far corner. Makes it look very easy. Yeah, really good goal, that one. Kills the game off.
Game over. It's now 4 goals in his last 1.5 matches. He might just get the nod over Balde to start over the weekend.
Well, if he finishes like that, he's got a strike rate like that. It's 2 chances, 2 goals. Be difficult. Yep, Balde does a job, but this man certainly knows where the back of the net is.
Lao Toyota, well, might be a little too late, but they are suddenly interested in throwing players forward now.
Was just saying there before the goal that my time in Vietnam, I remember very well just how good Vietnamese were at just killing the game off, slowing things down, frustrating the opposition. 1-0, just game finished, 65 minutes. They just kill it off. Very, very good at that. And you'd always end up with a red card or a yellow card because you get so frustrated you can't get on the ball. Yep, very, very good at just short, keeping the ball, give it, move it.
Which is exactly what Ho Chi Minh City is doing now.
Game over, just keep the ball until the final whistle.
That's Hu Tan trying to dip it into space for the run of Tung Kwok. Was gotten away from Pamba. He tried to keep it alive, but it was too straight and easy for Suptavi, the goalkeeper. He tried to look for Laosio, who's cutting a very frustrated figure, the Brazilian. One final change. And this will just be minutes for Alunai Lun Lassi. It's going to be another defeat for Lao Toyota in their 25th game in the AFC Cup. And at the rate things are going, with Ho Chi Minh City as well playing their next 3 matches all at home, you'd have to say that they are in fantastic position in Group F, aren't they?
Yeah, they've got the hard work done first, and you feel a little bit for these Lao players. They've worked incredibly hard. I mean, you know, let's be realistic here. They're playing against a better technical opposition. They've done really well for a good 65, 75 minutes of the game, you know. You've got to give them credit, and it's harsh that they come away from this 2-0, but the better teams won today, I think. Just showed a little bit more intent, wanted to go forward, a little bit more technical, and coming off the bench and putting 2 finishes away like that deserves to win the game.
They, of course, are on the back now of 2 wins in a row in this competition, having won last time out against Tampines, who I can tell you are leading 2-0 against Shan United. Actually, last time they beat Hougang, didn't they? Ho Chi Minh City. It was another loss for Hougang earlier today, so Ho Chi Minh City in the driver's seat in Group F. High and mighty over their opponents. Oh, that's a cheeky little shot by Antoine. Tried to catch the goalkeeper, who was gambled on a cross at his near post. And that's the final piece of action in a game where Lao Toyota did well enough, hanging on at 0-0 against the second best team in the V-League last year, and they did well enough to contain their top scorer Amido Balde. What they didn't account for was a substitute who is in one of the hottest scoring forms of his life. Xuan Nam came on, got the 2 goals and the 3 points for Ho Chi Minh City in this game.